Yo, yo, yo. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are
1 year ago.
doing well. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Everybody can hear me, hopefully. Let's see. Yo, Rover, how are you doing, brother? How are you, man? All good? Nice. Yo, how is my volume today? How is my volume today? I made sure before starting, I did made sure the video was good, the audio was good. Oh, damn. Hopefully you are able to sleep after this. Hopefully, man. It's hard. Without sleep, things are hard. Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, boss. Thank you so much. Alrighty. So, yeah, I'm finally back, I guess I can say that. After a long break and a lot of issue with my throat. I just never realized how big just the volume is for this work. Is if I can't speak, I basically can't work. And there is no paid leave days on this, so let's see how things go. But so I have a structure actually for today. I have a structure in which we are going to work towards, and hopefully you guys like it, because actually after talking to you, right, this was actually a great idea to put a structure on how to do things, and that's what I'm going to implement today, and hopefully I'm able to keep doing the same structure for future if it works out good, right? So what I'm going to do first, right? First and foremost, we are going to watch, it will be for warm up. So we are going to watch a video, a Fireship video on Google's Monopoly, which recently came out. Like they won the case regarding their search engine monopolies. Then we'll work and we'll mostly focus one and only on one thing. That is our web application, basics of web application. And we'll try to complete the whole room today because we have to still cover a lot, right? For our penetration tester 1. And at the end, we'll just chat, see how you guys like it, what's going on. Also depends on my throat, how things go, right? But that's the plan, right? So first 5 to 10 or maybe 15 minutes max of just chilling, chatting, warming up, right? Which includes this time that I'm talking to you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoy this and let me know what you guys think of this plan as we go through. And with that being said, let me just start the timer. And let's watch this amazing video. Where is it? Okay. Hopefully you guys can see me, right? Everything is good. So I have this timer going, and we'll work through that, through our stuff. I'm just wondering, why not much people have shown up yet. It is public. Everything is good. Yeah. No idea. All good. Okay, we'll get started. This is Fireship video on Google won at Monopoly. Here's the link, and let's watch what happened. Ranch, yo, I was waiting for you. What's up, bro? What's up? Yo. Okay. Ready to watch some Google Monopoly video and see how Google won, right? Let's see the case, latest one.
Google took its biggest L of all time. One year ago, Google took its biggest L of all time when it was convicted in court of being a filthy monopolist and was forced to join Microsoft on the registered antitrust offenders list. Back in the good old days, Google was making illegal deals to maintain search engine supremacy, like how it made up 85% of Mozilla's revenue by being the default search engine, and its insane deal with Apple where it paid them 36% of search revenue to the tune of $20 billion per year. In what appeared to be a big win for the little guy, a judge ruled that these deals stifle competition from other search engines. And now there's only one thing left to determine: what would be the appropriate way to punish Google for these horrendous violations.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Well, yesterday we finally learned Google's fate, and it's far worse than we ever could have imagined. It is September 4th, 2025, and you're watching the Code Report. Many experts expected that Google would be forced by the Department of Justice to sell its precious Chrome browser, which continues to dominate with 69% of the total browser market share. A very fitting number when you screw over other companies to reach the top. Chrome is basically the linchpin that ties all other Google products together, and losing it would be devastating to their business. AI companies were praying for the simulation to make this happen, and vultures like Perplexity even offered $34.5 billion to buy it. But Perplexity forgot the most important rule in life. Nothing ever happens. When people started predicting Chrome would be spun off from Google, I made a video predicting that that would never happen, and it turns out I was right. Now, I'm not Quasimodo, it's just the idea that a massive corporation would actually be punished for playing unfair is ludicrous. The punishment that was actually handed down can best be described as a slap on the wrist administered with a feather. Google gets to keep Chrome, it gets to keep Android, and it doesn't have to not be evil. On that news alone, the stock was up 10% yesterday, which
That's what I was about to actually show you guys. Just how big of a win it was. From like almost 200, it is at 220, and like it has been going up. Like it is actually winning such, and when all the other stocks are actually losing its money. This thing was like during that time, right, when things were like down, like people don't know if they have to sell. From 207 to now almost at 229, 230. Money is always right. Money, follow the money. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you know, when the thing came out, Google, like it's a year, right? Like it's a year to date, and 1 year, it went down, super down, 160, 150. So it's crazy how big of a win for Google and Google stakeholder this is.
Represents hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap. And Nancy Pelosi just got richer because she bought call options on Google a few months ago that are now deep in the money. I don't know how she does it, but the judge didn't totally let Google off the hook. He administered the wrist slap by telling Google they have to share your search data and stop making exclusive deals with big platforms. In addition, they're not allowed to bundle all their apps together for Android manufacturers. When it comes to sharing data, I want to make it clear that they're not sharing all the personal data that you gave Google willingly. They're sharing the opaque, anonymous data they've accumulated after years of crawling the web, which in theory will help competitors build better search engines and possibly AI models that replace search engines. What's kind of crazy though is that Apple can keep its 11-figure search deal with Google.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
They just have to change the wording in the contract so that it's not an exclusive.
Yeah, 100%. Like Nancy Polinsky, like if you actually search, there are certain insider trading, right? That's the term. Regarding Google, US government, like which politician, which US official bought what stock, right? What time and stuff. They have to declare, but only after 45 days of stuff. Nancy Polinsky has beaten the shit out of Warren Buffett by 820 some percent. That's how big her investment return is. Warren Buffett is sitting at 60 or some shit.
Deal. That means that if you want to start your own search engine, there's nothing stopping you from becoming the default search on iPhone. It just offer Apple more money than Google. In addition, Mozilla must be happy right now because they get to keep their Google money also, which would have killed their business otherwise. But the big question is, why did Google get off so easy? Well, Judge Mehta said this in his ruling. The government overreached in seeking the forced sale of these key assets, which Google did not use to effect any illegal restraints. He also said that the emergence of generative AI has changed the course of this case, and that Google's dominance in search doesn't carry over to the Gen AI space. And I would have to agree, because there are superior generative AI tools that are eating Google's lunch, one of which is Warp, the sponsor of today's video. Over 700,000.
Oh, Warp is actually used by, like, when, I don't know if you guys saw it, and I asked this question to Idor when he was showing his Ratatouille rat. He also uses Warp. So it's pretty interesting. And the judge is Judge Mehta, not Mehta. It's so funny. I heard that too. It was so fun.
Eating Google's lunch, one of which is Warp, the sponsor of today's video. Over 700,000 developers are already using Warp's development environment, and they just launched their biggest upgrade yet, Warp Code. This merges the Warp terminal with their IDE into one platform for writing code with agents. So instead of wrangling a bunch of different AI programming tools, you can just code on Warp. The built-in code editor comes with review panels, inline file editing, and suggested diffs to help you ship ship production-ready code faster. It also provides tools like agent profiles that let you customize your agents to make them more context-aware. Warp Code just scored 75.8% on SWE Bench, which was good enough to claim the number 3 spot on the leaderboard. You can try it out for free today at warp.dev/moofireship or use code MOO to get 1 month free on the Pro plan for just $1. This has been the Code Report.
This is like, yo, tag Idor. The code moo. Just tag Idor and say moo rap. It'll be funny. Okay. Alrighty. So with that being said, as we covered all these stuff, right? Now, just make sure, okay. Now let's get into our web application stuff. Web application basics. Learn the basics of web application, HTTP, URLs, request methods, response codes, and headers. So let's see how much we can finish. At least my goal would be like to cover half of it, whatever is 10. So cover at least till 5. Let's see how much we will be able to cover. So, and no more distractions. So I think 10 hours of good enough for, I think, warming up, getting everything done. Oh yeah, and until my throat dies, that's also true. Thanks, Rabbit, for the reminder. Not yet. We don't know. I'm not going to answer that. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. No more hacking for Urange. Okay. Now, let's lock in. Introduction. Welcome to the web application basics. In this room, we'll walk through the key elements of a web application such as URLs, HTTP requests, and responses. This is perfect if you are starting and want to get a handle on the essentials, or if you're looking to build or work with the web apps. No, I'm not going to answer. I will answer all your questions at the end. Learning objectives. By completing this room, you will understand what a web application is and how it runs in a web browser. That's good, actually. Learning about the engines and stuff. Break down the components of a URL. See how it helps access web resources. Learn how HTTP requests and responses work. Get familiar with the different types of HTTP requests method. Understand what different HTTP response codes mean. Check out how HTTP headers work and why they matter for security. So I think we will be able to cover till here. Understanding URL, accessing web resources, and HTTP request and response. Other things will be probably tomorrow, like different types of them, which is post, put, get, and stuff. Different HTTP response codes, which are very important again, because when you're using GoBuster and stuff, and then HTTP headers work, what and why they matter for security. Ooh, this is nice. I love it. So, astronaut is sending HTTP, and it like sending a response, something comes back. Okay. Consider an analogy of a web application as a planet. Astronauts travel to the planet to explore its surface, similar to how someone uses a web browser. Yeah. So consider an analogy with of a web application as a planet, right? So this is our web application here. We are sending responses. Astronaut travel to the planet to explore its surface, similar to how someone uses web browser to explore or browse a web application like Instagram. Although we only see the surface of a planet, a lot is going on under the surface. You can imagine the whole planet as a web server, with many things going on under the surface of the web server. Yet, all you can usually see is the surface of web pages or apps. We will now explore the various components that make up the web application. So basically they are saying, let's say if a planet is a web application, astronaut is a user, you do the same. You can only see what's here, right? You don't know if there's earthquake going on, what the surface inside is made of a lot of time, right? What other things are going on? Front end. The front end can be considered similar to the surface of the planet, the parts that an astronaut can see and interact with based on the laws of nature. A web application would have a user interact with it and use a number of technologies such as HTML, Java, JavaScript, CSS to do it, right? So there are two parts. Front end, what you see, like, you know, the trees, the planet. Like if I have Earth, the things you are seeing from the top, that's your front end, the images. But things that are going inside, like anything like earthquake, tsunami, stuff inside, like if there is anything else, you are going to you need to look at the back end of it, right? What's going inside. The front end can be considered similar to the surface of the planet, the parts that an astronaut can see and interact with based on the laws of nature, right? Just like in web application we have these. HTML, the hypertext markup language, not a programming language, is a foundational aspect of web applications. It is a set of instructions or code that instruct a web browser on what to display and how to display it. It could be compared to a simple organisms living on the planet. These organisms have DNA, which is instructions for how simple organisms can put together. So basically just core function, foundation, right, of your web application. For Earth, it is water, land, and just some organisms maybe. I won't even put organism, just water and land, right? CSS now, that's where the beauty comes. Remember, in the first one I said water and land. CSS is like trees, buildings, a couple of other things, right? That's where the game is. Beauty. This is CSS is beauty. Cascading. Understand the meaning of cascading, right? For example, let me draw. Cascading means, let's say, if you have your CSS file, right? This is way too big. That's what she said. CSS, right? You will have your rule number 1. Let's say I want the text to be something, right? Then I want rule number 2, text to be, let's say, this is red, blue, and let's say green. Cascading means that the very last one, whatever you do, will be the one picked. Hey Panda, yes, it is going to be green. Yes. The last one, that's what the cascading means. So cascading style sheet. Okay. So cascading style sheets, basically the application which applies styles in a cascading manner in web application, describes a standard appearance such as certain colors, type of the text, basically the fonts, right? And how the things lay out, basically where the image goes, blah, 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 how image and other things look. Continuing the analogy with DNA, these would be compared to the parts of the DNA that describe the color, shape, size, and texture of a single organism. So, part of the DNA that talks about basically your race, kind of what type of human you would be, right? Like in terms of would there be any problems or something, just normal. Size, how big as a baby or human you can go in chromosomes. Texture, how smooth, silky, or rough your voice or other thing, your skin would be. JavaScript, right, is JS, right, as we know, is part of the web application front end that enables more complex activities in the web browser. Basically, JavaScript is something like the behavior that defines the behavior of things. Like when we are using this is changing the behavior of how the web application looks. So this is done with the help of JavaScript. Whereas HTML can be considered as a simple set of instructions on what to display, basically what will be the text. what it will be the position of your images and stuff like that, a basic architecture, and how the image will look, how the text will look, that's CSS. But what will happen to the image, right? Any kind of animation, that's JavaScript. Not exactly JavaScript, certain animations is by CSS, but like if you click on something like a button, will the image go up, down, right? Become bigger, moves, something like that. Your scrolling is JavaScript. Almost. No, it's not. Never mind. JavaScript is a more advanced set of instruction that allows choices and decisions to be made on what to display. In the planet analogy, JavaScript can be considered the brain of an advanced organism which allows decision to be made on what and how to interact with it. So we were talking about as planet, right? There is land and water is the HTML. Forest, stuff like that will be the CSS. The weather, disasters, right? Type of those activities are JavaScript. And give me 1 sec, lads, because I saw one of the messages on Twitch. I just need to remove that. 1 second. Nothing big, just like I want to remove this campaign one, so nobody gets distracted with it, including me. Yo, Shriram, what's up, bro? Also, I said hi, Panda. Sorry if I didn't. Just want to make sure I acknowledge you. Sorry, just give me 1 sec. I can never get distracted with this interesting work of you doing. Thank you so much. Oh, I did said hi, so thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm locking in today, bro. No more distraction. Need to cover this, man, because I have so many other things. I can't get distracted anymore. I have too many things. Awesome. Okay, now. Oh, awesome. So yeah, now you won't see the mushroom one on Twitch. Let's go back to our backend now, right? The backend of the web application. Just to put one more thing, like just to explain somebody HTML, CSS, what things are, right? Let's say we take a house, right? We are talking about a house, a simple house. So in a house, like the wood, the concrete, the bricks, things like that, right? That actually defines its foundation. That's your HTML. The foundation. This is HTML. But okay, how things will be? Okay, we are going to put color here, make it a green color here, a brown color door. My caller started and these guys are awarded cash for 100% in scoring. Oh, 100%. Yeah, bro. 100%. So, as I was saying, the CSS is about like the colors. Now, inside a house, there are various things, right? Like, let's say you have a stove. Electricity. Right? Fans and stuff like that. Like even running water, like shower and stuff. Those are kind of the behaviors of the house. Let's say the temperature, right? You have a centralized air conditioning or heating. Those type of things are the JavaScript. The color here is CSS, this part. This is the JavaScript. Probably one of the easiest examples to understand compared to the planet and everything. Now, let's talk about the backend, right? Remember, front end is what you see on the browser. Yeah, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, boss. Now, let's talk about the backend. This is where a lot of your time and energy and a lot of jobs comes, right? The backend of a web application is things you don't see within a web browser, but are important for the web application to work. What this means is, let's say you are going on Facebook. Things you are looking at Facebook are good, like on the web browser. But let's say you change something. What all happens on the Facebook server, like changing your name, adding a post, That's the backend part, right? And those are very important for Facebook to work. On a planet, these are the non-visual things, the structures that keep a building standing, the air, and the gravity that keeps the feet on the ground. That's cool. A database is where the information can be stored, modified, and retrieved. A web application may want to store, retrieve, may, remember, it doesn't have to, may, which a lot of them do. But some websites are very static, so they don't have to, right? A web application may want to store, retrieve information, may want to store and retrieve information about a visitor's preferences, like, my theme on this, right? And stuff. Those are important to store, right? And what to show or what not to show. Like, I don't want to see ads and stuff like that. So important things like that. This would be stored in a database. A planet may have more advanced inhabitants who store information about locations in maps, write notes in a diary, and put books in a library and files in a filing cabinet. Hey, Rabbit. Yeah, today I'm logging in, so probably won't be seeing a lot of messages. So the distraction won't work probably today. There are many other infrastructure components underpinning web applications, such as a web server, application server, storage, various networking devices, and other software that support the web application. On a planet, these are the roads that are present, the cars that run on the roads, and fuel that powers. So let's put things in place as we are talking about the back end. I call it BE, right? So backend contains a bunch of things. And remember, depends on what is what, right? So what applications would need what. But there is always, or majority of the time, is a database. Database to store your information and stuff, right? Next is about a server. There are different types of server. I will just say, let's say web server or application server, right? There are many other different types of server for the type of work they do. But what these servers are, they contain the business logic. Important to understand why I'm saying business logic, because majority of the sites you see are basically a business, right? Where they talk about Facebook, Amazon, even YouTube, right? Business logic. If somebody asks for me to do something like this app, if I'm the web application and one of the users asks me to do something, what to do, whether even it's allowed to do, if it is allowed, how much of it is allowed, right? All those things. Let's say it asks me to calculate the value of the pie. What are the methods? Is it allowed to calculate this big number? And if I'm, let's say, creating an image from ChatGPT, what are the limits? Is this person a pro user? What model to use? Blah, 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 right? Right? So those type of stuff. But yeah, it's easy, bro. It's easy, but it's important to cover because I promise I will cover everything. Now comes a web application firewall, because you have the database, data about the users, right? Like kind of like, have they made the payment? Are they a pro user? What actions they are performing? But are they able to hack the machine or not, right? Are they hacking and getting important stuff or not? So web application firewall is an optional component. Security is optional. Important, but it's optional. It's an optional, again, it's like medicine. You can take it or not. It's important, take it or not. It's an optional component of web application. It helps filter out dangerous requests away from web servers and provides an element of protection. This would be considered similar to how planet's atmosphere can protect inhabitants from the harmful UV rays. Just like our stratosphere covers that, right? From a UV rays, same thing. What it does, basically, let's say somebody's connecting from an IP address, or like they're making multiple requests, like almost trying to hack it. Our web application firewall has certain rules. Okay, these things are allowed, these are not. These IP addresses are blacklisted, right? Summary. There are many components involved in delivering a web application. Front-end components like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and in which you experience in the browser. Back-end components such as web server, database, web application firewall are the engines under the surface that enable web application to function. Right? These are the function means business logic. This is simple introduction and will be built upon in the upcoming tasks. Now let's answer this. Which components on a computer is responsible for hosting, delivering content for web application? Which component for hosting and delivering content? Which tool is used to access and interact with the web application? Which component acts as a protective layer, filtering incoming traffic, protection, basic security, right? To block malicious attacks and ensuring the security of the web application. Answer me, lads. Let's see. And I will read till then. Pro noob like me. I hope you get a good man wrench. Lol. Hey, what you write, like what you saw is what you write. Okay. So, the component of a computer responsible for hosting and delivering content, right? Delivering hosting, yes, the web server. Thank you, Wrench. Where our website is stored, right? Perfect. Next one, web browser. Perfect. How we interact through a browser. And web application firewall. Thank you so much, bro. This helps in protecting, and this is probably the reason why majority of the anonymous users are basically dead. Why? If you search for anonymous, right? Majority of their attack, the biggest attack they are famous for, is because they had a lot of people DDoS attack. But now with things like web application firewall, they are dead. Almost dead. They say they are alive, but I don't see it. Nah. Okay. Logging in again for task 3, uniform resource locator. A uniform resource locator, URL, one sec. Okay. A uniform resource locator is a web address that helps you access all kinds of online content, whether it's a web page, video, photo, or media. It guides your browser to look at the right place on the internet. This is what you see when I'm posting about things. For example, going live. You see, this is a URL, https youtube.com. So look at the server. Twitch, censored hacker, right? Where to look for. This URL, this whole thing is a URL, right? Uniform resource locator. Find the resource. Whether it's censored hackers Twitch channel or YouTube channel or the Instagram page, where it is. That helps, right? First is the scheme. Scheme is basically the protocol, right? HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, right? Depending on what you are looking for, the protocol. Username and password, if required, in the URL. At tryhackme.com, so the domain, the host, the website we talk about, facebook.com, microsoft.com, tryhackme.com, hackerspub.org, those, the whole domain. Port number, if you don't specify, goes to either 80 or 443. If it is HTTP, 80, HTTPS 443, right? It's, or if you don't put it. Next is the path. This is important. View room. Because, and let me explain to you how, right? It's because, let's say, when you are in your computer, right? This is how your computer look. Let's say there are multiple folders. Let's talk about desktop. Then inside the desktop, right, there is, let's say, my TryHackMe folder or my let's say important documents. Inside it would be, let's say, my application form, like, or some kind of, let's say, another, my bank info dot text. So if I have to reach here, right, how will I do it? Basically, I put everything like the names one by one from bigger to small. Desktop / important doc / bank info .txt. This is the URL, the resource location of where the document I'm looking for, the bank information I'm looking for is held, right? So that's why the path, where in my computer, what is the path of the file. Next, and this is what we do with PWD, right? Next is query string. A lot of time we are sending the information, right? And that's where we put question mark. Remember, the green in ID also includes the question mark equals 1. So what will be the ID? Last and not the least, but task segment. This, what you will see is, let's say if I click here, let's say if it works. No URL here. Let's say copy. Nothing comes. Okay. So, but if you do explain to you what this task fragment is, if you are using HTML, right? When you use HTML, there is a tag called ID tag. There is class and there is ID. ID is in the whole document. The web page you are seeing, this is called a document, right? A whole document. This is unique. And okay, I want to send specifically task 3 to someone. So the URL will become, and let's say the ID of task 3 is task 3. So this is the TryHackMe stuff, and then task 3. If this is the ID, this is again inside the document. You found the bank info, but even inside there are hundreds of banks. Which one to go for? You put a tag and then you reach exactly at that point. So that's the anatomy of a URL resource locator. Let me copy the image for my notes. So when I share, it's good there. Next, think of URL as being, and now let's look at what TryHackMe says. Think of URL as being made up of several parts, each playing a different role in helping you find the right resource, bank info, right? Like the right particular resource. Every single / every single part is important. Understanding how these parts fit together is important for browsing the web, developing web applications, and even troubleshooting problems. This, and you have seen this when you're, let's say, go to LinkedIn and you're going to my LinkedIn profile, let's say. Let's say even on GitHub, you're going to my GitHub account. You will see github.com and then my page, the document that talks about my account, right? So this is the path where it is located. And it is important for browsing the web, developing web application, and even troubleshooting problems. Here's a breakdown of the key components. Scheme or schema, however people say scheme, in my opinion, is the protocol used to access the website. The most common are HTTP and HTTPS. HTTPS stands for secure, right? Because it encrypts the connection, which is why browser and cybersecurity experts recommend it. If you see a website at this point which use HTTP, not HTTPS, run. Websites often enforce HTTPs for added protection. So whenever I type, let's say facebook.com, you see nothing is coming if I go left. Now let me click. Now if I go left, you see HTTPS already came, so it's default. HTTPS is the secure one, and websites often enforce, or even browser always go for those. User, and what happens is when I look for facebook.com, exactly what happens, facebook.com, it goes to the DNS server where it finds the location, and then once it gets the location from wherever it gets, right, or basically the DNS finds it, and it goes to the Facebook server, it actually, before going there, it goes to the load balancer, where, so not one server gets all the load, right? All the billion people are not connected to one server. It's equally distributed among thousands of servers they have, right? So this load balancer forces HTTPS instead of HTTP majority of the times. Check out AWS system design things. You will love it. User. Next is the user part and password. Some URLs can include a user's login details, usually as a username for sites that require authentication. This happens mostly in URLs that need credentials to access certain resources. However, it's rare nowadays because putting login details in the URL isn't safe. It can expose sensitive information, which is a security risk, right? Because somebody can just look at my browser history and get all the user credential, right? Crazy to think how load balancing for something like Google, I don't, but the total. Google use a bunch of things, man. You have to like really look into which product. I can't just say Go, but yes, the Go is part of it. That's for sure. No, Google 100%. A bunch of companies does. I know that. Next, host and domain. The host or domain is the most important part of the URL because it tells you which website you are accessing. Every domain name has to be unique. It is like, let's say if you live in a country, right? In India, it's Aadhaar. In Canada, it is your SIN number, social insurance number. In US social security number, right? Unique across country. This is like your DNA, unique across the whole world. That's how domains are unique and is registered through domain registrars. Every country has one, right? For Canada, I think it's Sierra, I think something like that. Sierra, CA domains. Yeah, I think this is the one. Canadian Internet Registry Authority, CIRA, manages the .ca domain names. Important to note, right? This only manages .ca ones, right? If you are looking for US, it will be .us or .com. You can get. India, it's .in. And every single country, like for example, Canada.ca, you have to tell them who you are when buying a CA website. Are you a registered corporate under Canadian law? Are you a permanent resident? Are you a citizen? Are you a government authority who wants a .ca? Who are you? They don't want to give it to just anyone. You have to be registered under it. So it's very interesting to look at. And that also because of this, there is like you are sending extra information. They get hacked. Some extra information gets hacked, right? Okay. Look for domain names that appear almost like real ones but have small differences. This is called typo squatting. What the hell? I've never heard of this word. So from a security standpoint, look for domain names that appear real but have small differences. So for example, I think instead of facebook.com, it would be facebooks.com. So just S. Excuse me. So stuff like that. These fake domains are often used in phishing attacks to trick people into giving up sensitive information. I think you might, I don't know if you guys know about this one. There was somebody doing phishing attacks. How? Because like of this typo squatting, using different, like you know about UTF, right? They changed the UTF and the A, instead of looking like this, was looking like this. That was the only difference in the whole thing, and that is how they did a phishing attack. A whole different URL. So look at typo squatting. It's really interesting cases, right? These fake domains are often used in phishing attacks to trick people into giving sensitive information. Oh yeah, that happens in pip install too. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Have you ever tried hacking a vending machine? But O is actually 0 or different. Oh, okay. It had a yeah. I remember that. Like there were so many things about that. It was crazy. Okay, going back. Port. So port number is to explain to you, right? In a house you have built. This is important to understand port. First, let's talk about your computer, right? Your computer. In your computer, if you are using a tower or a PC, what happens is there are like certain USB or even USB-C, USB, other type of like HDMI, couple of other ports that you can connect to, right? To connect to your system. Same like your house, right? There are so many ways to come inside, like your doors. But there are windows as well, right? Probably not, and couple of other ways, stuff like that. Same thing here. Just because these are the physical ones, right? These are physical. Certain ones are non-physical, and that's what is also like a way to connect to your system. Those non-physical ones, there are around 6, 5, 5, 3, 5 or 3, 6. Hey Varshit. 65535, I think it goes. So total like around there is like 2 to the power something, I don't remember exactly. But there are these many ports that are available to that you can use to connect to someone else's computer, or have that connection open so somebody can connect to a particular port. Now, there are a bunch of ports that are very common. One of them is 80, other is 443. These are used by web server, and that's what we are talking about. The port number helps direct your browser to the right service, because if you are trying to connect to 80 but there is no application there, you won't see anything, because if the application is hosted on only 443, and let's say if it is only hosted on 80 not 443, you won't see anything. The default, there are default, right? But that's the whole thing. Excuse me. My throat is going bad again. Yo, 65535, that was the one. So, the port number helps direct your browser to the right service on the web server. It's like telling the server which doorway to use for communication. Port numbers range from 1 to 65535, but the most common are 80 and 443. You can host it on 8080 for your development purposes in company, for your personal stuff. But if you want Google to show your website, these are the 2 ones, specifically 443. Now comes the part. This is what we were talking about when looking for bank info in your browser, right? There is on the desktop, you have on the desktop folder, you have important documents folder, and inside you have a text file called bank info. So the path is desktop, important document, bank info. This is your path, the whole thing, starting from desktop, right? The path points to the specific file or page on the web, on the server, just like for GitHub / I am Gaurav Satija, censored hacker, whatever, right? Oh, thank you for following, boss. One Ben Kiz. I like it. Thank you. It's like a roadmap that shows the browser where to go. Yeah, actually, a roadmap, that's a good way to put it. Like, hell, you are giving it the whole roadmap where exactly it is. Websites need to secure these paths to make sure only authorized users can access sensitive information. So let's say an admin panel, only a very authorized person can access it, nobody else. Query string. The query string is a part of the URL that starts with a question mark. Very important to understand, it starts with a question mark, and you are providing information to the web server through this. It is looking for a value, let's say the ID variable. It knows a value is coming in the name of ID variable. What will be the value? 1 in this case. And this is useful with your cross-site scripting attacks. So query string is the part of the URL that starts with the question mark. Is often used for things like search terms or form inputs, and you use it on Google. Like I am going on Google, you see this. See this URL. Really big one, right? Now let's pay attention to the one we care about. Q, search, hey, search page, question mark, Q, query. What is the query? Censored hacker. That is my only query. And other things like, okay, what should be the encoding they are using? What is the browser, right? Blah, blah, blah. Not needed for us. What we care about is censored hacker. That's our query. And that's how the search is working and Google is getting my query through these query strings. Since users can modify these query strings, it's important to handle them securely to prevent attacks like injections, cross-site scripting injection attacks, and bunch of other command injections. Stuff like that can happen through this, because you are basically exactly, the server is going to take this input, put it inside the function, if not sanitized properly. Bro, you need a soothing toffee or something. Yes, I'm going to have it. I had 3-4 of them today. Where malicious code can be added. Fragment. The fragment starts with the hash symbol and helps point out a specific section on a web page, a specific area on a web page. So for my case, it was task 3. So I wrote it like this. This part. Task 3 on the web application. On the web application basics, task 3. It's like jumping directly to a particular page, right? Let's say heading 6 or something in your Word document. Users can modify this too. So like with the query string, it's important to check and clean up the data where to avoid issues like injection attacks. Again, because this will go to the server, web server, and that's where like they can inject anything they like. Now lads, which protocol provides encrypted communication to ensure secure data transmission between a web browser, let's say your web browser, and Facebook server? What term describes the practice of registering domain names that are misspelled variations of popular websites to exploit user errors and potentially engage in fraudulent activity? What part of URL is used to pass additional information such as search terms, form input to the web server? Let's need the answer for these. And I will go back quick, go to the chat. Holy. Hi. Yeah, this guy is all of us. Nalla. Unemployed from last 20 years, understandable. Yo, you have been doing sub and unsub. Don't do that, bro. Yeah. He might ban Wrench, probably. Twitch is too smart. It won't let you spam. Let me know before you do it so I can also see. Bro, I was unemployed too for a good amount of time. Typo squatting, HTTPS, yes. All are great. Thank you, Wrench. And the last one, query string. It's like use 50. You did set HTTPS. It came through a proper secure connection, right? Okay. Now, going back to task 4. Don't worry, lads. We all have been there. Don't worry. Okay. HTTP messages are packets of data exchanged between a user, basically the client, you, a user of Facebook, let's say, and the web server, Facebook's web server. These messages are very important for understanding how web applications work because they show how users' requests and server's response are communicated. Basically, to explain to you, right? This is the best example. You are here, and this is Facebook's server. You could be in India, Canada, US, you could be anywhere, right? You are a user. And this is Facebook's, let's do FB, Facebook server. Now, a person from India wants to communicate to something, let's say a Facebook server in US. A person from India wants to communicate to a person in US. What is the way to communicate? What do you need to communicate? You need a common language. My writing is on fire today, lads. You need a common language. And the other word for a common language is in computer terms, instead of language, we can say a common protocol. How and what will be the grammar, what information, blah, blah, blah. So you need a common protocol. And how it is done? Through HTTP, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. For security, a secured hypertext transfer protocol. So this is like a common language between a web server, a user, and any web application you are using on the internet. Your web browser needs to talk in the same language as the web server. Now, imagine an example of an HTTP request. What happens in this architecture too? Let's quickly go back with this green one and a blue one, right? User, server. How they do it? A user is going to ask or request something. Hey, I'm user, my name is Sensor Hacker, I want to access my Facebook page. I'm going to make a request. I'm going to request that I want to access my web page to the server. It's going to respond. It will respond with like, hey, what is your username and password? Hey, oh, the last one you entered is incorrect. Give me a new one. Stuff like that. So request, user request, server response, and that's how the whole internet works. Imagine an example of HTTP, right? Because the protocol, the language we are talking about is HTTP. So it's a HTTP request and an HTTP response, where you can use key parts like the method, HTTP method, the URL, right? Headers, the HTTP headers, and the status codes, which all we are going to learn soon. These are what makes the client server interaction. These things in the request, inside the request and response, there is URL, methods, codes, couple of other things, right? Important information. And that helps with the full interaction. There are two types of HTTP message. The request sent by the user to trigger action on the web application, right? Hey, server, do this. Now, server goes through its business application, its functions, whatever is said by the coders and software engineers, right? And come up with a response. The response goes back to the user. What is the response? A message basically sent by the server in response to the user's request. Here is the image. Post login. So, hey, I want to log in to tryhackme.com. This is the request. My username is this. My password is secure password. Response by tryhackme. Your login was successful. Status, was my login successful? Yes. Message, login successful. Message could be something else. Status is important. The code here, 200, okay, important. What the language, what type of, how it will be received, stuff like that. Everything is sent. And this is very important to understand once we go into Burp Suite very soon. Each message follows a specific format. See this. Important, HTTP 1 is written on the first line of both. Content type comes later. Content length comes after content type. Stuff like that. And other information comes even after content length. That's what is a format, a protocol, a method, a set structure. Each message follows a specific format that helps both user and server communicate smoothly, right? Sorry, Rabbit. This is how it is, like for the basic ones. Start line. The start line is like the introduction of the message. It helps you it tells you what kind of message is being sent. HTTP 1.1. That's the message format. That's what we are using. Whether it's a request from the user or the response from the server. If it is a request from the user, we are seeing, right, HTTP 1 comes late. But in other one, hey Idor, so sorry man. Hopefully I can see you more. Sorry, I've been just logged in today a lot. In the response, HTTP is coming first. In the request, HTTP 1.1 coming last. Bye Idor. The start line is the introduction, right? What kind of message is being sent? Who is sending it? Is it a request or a response? This line also gives important details about how the message being handled or should be handled. Oh, happy Teachers Day to you. Oh, thank you so much. Headers are made up of, so inside HTTP we have headers as well. Headers are made up of key value pairs, just like we learned from the dictionary. Key value that provide extra information about the HTTP request. Hey Ray, what's up, bro? Actually, I learned from everyone, so everybody is a teacher. These headers cover all sort of things like the security, content type, and more, making sure things go smoothly in the communication. Happy Teachers Day, lads. Happy Teachers Day. Next is the empty line. This is very important too. Very, very important. The empty line is a little divider that separates the header from the body. You guys have seen it a billion times and you have used it a billion times. Let's take a very simple example you have used in your actual life. analogy. When you are writing an email, for example, right? Or let's say a letter, a proper letter. You put your name, your information, who you are addressing to, blah, 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 subject, right? And then you put a dividing line, a simple line to separate that, hey, this is all the information, who it is being sent to, blah, blah, blah. Now there is separate line, and then comes the body of the letter. This is the head. This is the body. This is your neck almost. It's important to have a neck, or people make fun of you for not having one, right? We don't live in the best human period. So it's important to have a neck. What is the neck? An empty line is a little divider that separates the header from the body, just like we have seen here. After content length and here after date, this is what there is an empty line. It's essential because it shows where the header stops and where the actual content begins. Where your head is there, where there's body. Necklace is a very weird thing. Indeed, yeah. I'm joking. But it is weird. Without this empty line, the message might get messed up and the client or server might misinterpret it, causing errors, right? So you always need to put that extra line. Because they, like, computer don't know when the body will stop or body will start, right? Or head will start and head will stop. Next comes the body. This is a very important part too, equally important to header and other things we have seen. The body is where the actual data is stored, like your username, password, which is hashed or encrypted, whatever. So the body is the actual data you are sending, like the form you are filling up and stuff. In a request, the body might include data the user wants to send to the server. So it includes the data that you want to send in terms of form, like username, password, all the other information. In a response, it's where the server puts the content that the user requested, like a web page or the API data. Why understanding HTTP messages matter? Very important. These messages are the foundation of web application. You want to go in bug bounty hunting? HTTP. Actually, if you want to go in cybersecurity, HTTP you need to understand. Because everybody wants to do it, ask for a web mostly, right? If they are structured properly, everything works smoothly. Knowing, and there is no, I don't know if there is even a single like a business, successful business that doesn't have a website, especially after COVID, right? So knowing how they work will help you diagnose the issue in web communication, which means better performance, reliability for your web application. It's also crucial for security. Understanding HTTP messages help you implement strong security measures to protect data during transition. There are laws in many countries where it says data should be encrypted during transition, like transportation, and data should be encrypted at rest. While in motion, while in rest, both should be encrypted. Those are actual rules. So if you are actually going, even as a security person or a developer, understand those laws. Understanding laws at this point is very important too. Answer the question, lads. Which HTTP message is returned by the web server after processing a client's request? What follows the headers in an HTTP message? So after the header is there, what is it? What is the neck called, basically? Which HTTP message is returned by the web server after processing a client's request? Woo! Nice day, nice day. We covered a lot. And thank God, I have my throat still. No answers? Okay, let me put the next one. You need to answer these, please. Empty lines. Damn. Which heavy message is returned by web server after processing a client's request? Response. Thank you, Wrench. Okay, we are at 11:49. Let's see how big this is. This is a lot bigger and it will go over time. So let's cover this. Yeah, you did answer both. So thank you so much. So let's cover this tomorrow. Task 5. Request line method, because those are important to put, right? Then we have headers, request body and stuff, which is good. Status line, status codes. Yeah, I think this is good for today. Especially with my throat. I think I won't be able to complete that task 5. Yeah, lads. So how was my lock-in zone? Enjoyed it? This is actually how it's going to be, because I talked to somebody really good. Basically, I was talking to... Thank you so much, Rover. All because of you, mate. So because I was talking to Rover, right? And I needed like some understanding of what is good, sweet points of certain things. So good for you, bad for us. But yeah, like this is how it's going to be. Simply put it, first 10-15 minutes, it will be a warm-up. I will chat, answer any questions. We'll have fun. 1.5 hour of lock-in. Right? I will not study. And then in the end, it would be again, I come back and answer all the questions you guys have. 10-15 minutes chilling, work, because we came here to study. This was all about providing education to everyone, including myself, right? This was the whole reason for starting this. And then at the end, again, chilling, because it's important to enjoy what we do, how we do, and stuff like that, right? Feeling FOMO. Holy, that's holy. Sorry. Yeah. You can bug me now. Yeah, I've been doing good, man. I just need to catch up. I was getting FOMO from you guys, so this is why we came up with this. Varshad, you are in his team? What the hell? You will see. Like, dude, it's crazy how much 1 year can put you in, and I'm like, my 1 year is basically starting. You can put all the eyes on me, man. All the eyes on me. Sounds good. I'll always love a good competition. Just going to say that out loud. I love a good competition. No, not enemies. Not enemies. Rivals? Yes, not enemies. We are brothers. Brothers who push each other to do extra, right? The time will tell. I will say this. You can win today, tomorrow, or for a week. But at the end of the day, like I'm very much confident about my hard work and work ethic. I will surpass you one day. Nice. I can tell you though, my work ethic has taken down so many big players. So be aware, Wrench. Be aware. I'm coming for you. End of the day. Yeah, no, Rabbit. Like, trust me, man. I'll give you a small story of how many times basically the house was against me. How many times? You guys are going to hear a very interesting story about my life again. Let me put it first here. Let me draw something to tell you exactly. And I was like very happy when that happened for some reason. Instead of being sad and like questioning, I was very happy that happened to me. So, yeah. Story of my life. Coming from a very dark time, actually. No, it was actually not even casino, mate. what happened, right, was that when I started doing door-to-door sales, it's called D2D industry, right? Door-to-door sales. When I started, a lot of people thought I will give up in the very first day. Okay, you want to get coffee? Sounds good. You have to come back fast. I'll drink some water. Well, I ran out of water. Never mind. But you guys know D2D industry, right? Door to door, where people comes as salesmen, right? To basically sell you something and stuff, right? So in the door to door industry, I did that in the very first year of coming to Canada. My very first summer, basically, I did my September semester, I did my January semester, my first summer was coming. I did door-to-door sales. I wanted to be successful, whatever I do, right? I want to give my 100%. But when I met the managers there, we had three. Basically some smart home system like, cameras and stuff, alarm system. But yeah, it is. It's racist. It's terrible. It's great to build your work ethic. I will say that. Teach your kids do it. Like, it's like same as working at a restaurant or any food industry. It helps you become humble, right? So, as I was saying, I had three managers because they all of them form a region, and all the managers, whoever they pick, they want to come together, right? Three managers, right? They put a bet. Who will be number one? No, I wasn't in food industry. I was in door-to-door, but I'm saying like even in food industry, it builds your work ethic and like helps you become humble, right? So they bet who will be number one. Everybody had their own picks, right? Nobody picked me. Why? First, they thought I'm an immigrant. I can't even speak English properly. How will this guy do good? Second, and I was pretty hurt when I heard about this. Like, they were like, hey, at least give me a chance. Like, just pick me number two even. Like, what the fuck? But like, I was an immigrant and I could not know English. My English, okay. No good. Third, I was scared of dogs, man. I was scared of dogs. First time I saw a dog, was a German Shepherd, half or more than half the size, and like bulk wise, he was so bulky. I was scared to death, right? Because in India, we have stray dogs, and I had some bad encounters, right? Nobody picked me. Good reason, 3 good reasons, right? It's so much how you pitch and yeah, and even like because as an immigrant, right, it was my first time staying away from my family. I was already devastated, and I lost my grandfather, my Nanaji, my mom's father, right, during that time, and I was very close to him. So a bunch of things were just against me, right, and I was not their number one pick. Sheer just the attitude, like I was able to build a really good work ethic, right, and thank you, Panda, right. Thank you so much, Varshit. But like life, right? Didn't have money to go back. Actually, kind of if I wanted, my parents would have paid, but I didn't want to do, right? I wanted to do my own money. I didn't want to go to India without like being successful. Ego problems, man. Ego problems. As a teenager, I had ego problems. I still do. But just work ethic. This thing can change every single game of your life, man. Yeah. Dude, like, fucking did so hard things, right? I've seen so hard things, especially how hard my parents worked. I could not let them down, man. There was too much on the table for me to lose. If it was just about me, I would have like probably lost. But like, I was taught by my parents, I can't let them down, right? Had too many things. Could not let them down. Even my brother, he did so much for me. So that helped me build my work ethic. You know what I did? Just kept knocking. Very fucking hard thing to do, man. Just kept knocking the doors. I cried on some doors, especially like in the very first month. I was crying on so many days because was still going through the loss of my grandfather, right? Bro, once you get comfortable with people saying no to you, you realize you only question, and this question I asked a lot of times, right? And if somebody says, hey, should I do this? I'm like, this is the only question. What is the worst that can happen? Hey, should I apply for this job? What is the worst that can happen? You won't get the job, right? If they say no to you, well, you're already not getting the job if you're not applying. Hey, what if this girl says no to me if I ask her out? She will be a girlfriend if she don't ask her out? What's the worst that can happen? No. Right? Even like so many things about life. Like even when you're, hey, should I prepare for cybersecurity? What's the worst that can happen? You might fucking learn a couple of things. You might not get a job, a multi-billion-dollar job, right? And all those stuff. You will learn something. It's always there's something positive. And once you get comfortable with this no, saying no and getting no, right, is so good. You actually become a fucking human from an animal almost. Like, actually, animals are really good. But, like, I'm just saying, in the sense, like, you actually, or the best way to say, if you get comfortable with this no, with rejection, I applied for, like, 200 plus interviews. Utkarsh, what's up, bro? Yeah, those two. No, I don't have a pet dog, man. Vishay, is this a prank? No, like, I applied for 200 interviews, right? And you know what? I applied in October, I remember, October 2021 for CrowdStrike, a job at CrowdStrike. And I got the rejection in March 2022, bro. That's how crazy. Like, how many times I applied. And I only got, like, back from, like, I heard back, like, got a call back from, like 5 or 6 of them. Right? But it's like, it's a numbers game. I got comfortable with saying no. Holy, bro. If you get comfortable with saying no, you become, from a kid, you become an adult. An adult who can take on the world. So my advice to you, learn to accept rejection and start saying no for things you don't want. Saying no and getting no, not or. Saying no to other people when you don't want to do something, and also getting comfortable when people say no. Nobody is going to give a fuck, man. Yes. Have boundaries. Yes. No helps you put boundaries. So important, man. Yeah. Rabbit, like Rover and Panda, you both are right. So I'm just saying, this one of the best things that happened in my life. Again, a lot of times I was able to talk to some really big business people in the city I live in is because I just asked for it. Nobody does. Nobody asks them. Like, you go to Mr. Beast video, say, hey, can I get $1,000? If you don't ask, you will not. Just, that's how I want to show you. Like, it's actually, you can understand Mr. Beast giving you 1,000. There's so many other opportunities. You just don't think them as Mr. Beast type opportunities, right? But saying no to help can also reduce networking. It would rather, like, it's always, yes, there is a trade-off, there is pros and cons, but Panda, think about it. Would you rather have stress or networking? It's saying no is also respect, show your power. You have 24 hours, bro. You have 24 hours. That's fine. Say no. People understand. And nobody is going to be like so mad how you said no. And if somebody has that much ego, you don't want that energy draining person in your life. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, so many messages. I remember the meme. Yeah. Stick to, dude, I want a pet dog. I just can't have it. Saying no if you don't have energy. Yeah. A lot of time you don't. With each reaction, the self-confidence goes down. No. you think in the starting it feels like this, right? If let's say if I put a graph, bro, I got 200 plus rejections on the interviews. You need to understand this, Varshit and everyone. It's important. Like a good question thing you mentioned. With no, in the first few times you start feeling no, right? Then then reality hits you. You're like, yo, who cares? And you are like way more confident from where you started. If this is level 5, you will be at 50, bro. And you can't like avoid no's, but they are going to happen. So just like get comfortable with them. That's my life advice I can give you. One thing. And you're too young, man. Just keep saying like it's okay. You are going to get no's. You're 21. Do you think you won't get rejected for hundreds of thousands of things in life when you are by 60? Just get more comfortable. The faster you get comfortable, that's why. Yeah, why not? Just ask. You will get it. I can ask some interview questions. Yeah, in the Discord I can probably, or look into those. Make some videos on it. Adolescence life stage is definitely tougher. Many lessons to come. Yeah, 100%. She has still no video on security jobs. By the way, I'm so sorry. Next week there will be a video. Next week I promise there will be a video. Still no batter on where. I will add that. Just send it in the suggestions. Please just put it in the suggestions so I will remember. Okay, and next week, I promise security jobs, on security specifically on job market. Ansh, what's up? I'm good, brother. How are you? No dogs? Yeah, like Panda, the only reason I can't have dogs is because I can hardly take care of myself. Dogs are really beautiful, like really beautiful souls. It's just I can hardly take care of myself. I love taking them for walks though, of my friends' dogs. They're really cute. Maybe I can ask Ben if Ben moves near my house. We can see that, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, we can see that. Yo, okay, you can hear that. I was like, we can see that you don't take care of yourself. I'm like, yeah, kind of, I guess. Yeah. Bunny hamster are good. Sounds good. We'll 100% look into that, Robert. 100%. But yeah, lads. Hopefully this was some fun. Good. Like I like this 15 minutes, 1 hour, and then 15 minutes. This is fun. We can share each other's pain, share each other's story, and yeah, we can see that was actually funny. Even Varsha didn't mean it, but it was just funny. You still look top, G. Thanks, lads. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wrench. Thank you, Rabbit. Yeah, surpass you. You want to beat me? You want to fight, bro? I'm not I don't like fighting. Is it your throat? My throat. Just my throat. That is in pain. Probably. Okay. But thank you so much, lads. Yeah, no violence. Oh yeah, Indra. So, Bhaiya, I wanted to ask you one thing: how you get a job onshore from India, bro? I came I came as student in Canada, and I got a job here. Onshore from India, basically like to specifically be very very specific about this. When you're working for a service company, if you reach, let's say, a team lead level or project manager, then only majority of the time they send you onshore. Or unless until if you're working in a private company, FANG type company, a product company, then if you are really good coder, then they again send you. But if you have a comfortable life, this is my thing. If you are earning good in India, it's way better to live in India. But if you're not earning good in India, yes, come to Canada. That's one thing I can say. Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, that's a good question. Where you want to start and stuff. And I have to go to washroom, lads, and I have to give me 1 minute. Put all your questions here. I'm watching. I will be back in just 1 minute, lads. Okay? Give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to put the song. No, I'm going to put the song. I saw the message. I'm going to put the song. Sometimes indeed, so Varshik says yes. Which song, boss? Which song? Give me the song. What is a good song? Annie? How about Illuminati?
I don't know about you, but my least favorite
நாடின் நன்மகனே பொன்மகனே முத்தாயவனே மின்னும் சூரியனும் சந்திரனும் முன்னாயவனே காலம் காத்து வச்ச ரக்ஷகனே சிம்ஹாரகனே எங்கள் கண்ணனாய் வந்தவனே பயமே மாறிப்போ நீ அண்ணன் வந்தால் தும்பிட்டு நெல்ல இருட்டில் சிட்டி வாழும் ராஜாவுக்கு எல்லாரும் சொல்ல இவனை தொழுவானாயும் ஜனத்திறக்க காலம் எடுத்து வச்சால் சொர்க்கம் போலும் மன்னர் வித்யாரம்பம் குத்து ஹரி ஸ்ரீ தோக்கின் காஞ்சி வலி சீலம் பண்டை மாறாத்த வியாதி நெஞ்சில் பூட்டி வச்சோ ரங்க கலி தீராத்த வாஷி அண்ணன் மீச வச்சோராட்ட புலி இடையான் முன்னோருக்கும் நின்னோருக்கும் பண்டை ஆபத்து கட்ட சோரா கொண்டு ஜூஸ் அடிச்சு சோடா சர்பத்து நுடியில் மதையான நெருக்கிடும் கருத்து இவனே படைச்சு விட்ட கடவுளுக்கு பத்தில் பத்து
தோசை இட்லி சாம்பார் சட்னி சட்னி தோசை இட்லி சாம்பார் சட்னி சட்னி தேடி பிடிச்ச ஹோட்டல்ல வாங்கிட்டு வந்த பார்சல்ல நல்ல ஹோட்டல் தெரியல வாங்கிட்டு வந்தது சரியில்லை.
What is EDI?
Okay, hopefully you enjoyed your idli sambar song. It's Malayalam. I am from Karnataka. So sorry, man. I don't know much. I just saw this video of this and I just love the song. Illuminati. Are you married, bro? I'm hoping this nerd stuff doesn't put me on the nice list and where I don't. What's your favorite thing about coding? I don't understand the song at all. No. But my favorite thing about coding, making things that other people can use and even like I can see it, that's like very satisfying. So idli, bhai or gold. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think we got this. I am a green forest, bro. I'm not green at all. No, I'm nowhere near that, and I don't want to be one. Those green flag, those things. I'm like, yo, I'm just a. It's all like based on person to person. You didn't answer the question, buddy guy. No, I'm not a green forest, man. I have my issues. No, I'm not. There is a lot of things as a human I can improve. I just am lazy to improve. But yeah, lads. I think green flag, red flag. Yeah, like it's this green flag thing is like. There is a lot of people, like the thing is with green flag, right? So I will explain what exactly is green flag and stuff. this is a Instagram bullshit that has came out recently. This is 21st century Instagram bullshit called by some toxic fuckers called green flag and red flag. If you understand Hindi, Purav Jha made a video on this. Green flag ke chode. But what is this means is that green flag is like, a person who do good things. Like, hey, take care of you, ask you how you are every day. Make food for you, like your partner and stuff like that. Then there's red one who is like, who let's say do wrong things, doesn't care about you and stuff like that. The worst part about this, the worst part about this is that it doesn't talk about reality checks of a person. Oh, this guy loses temper very fast. He must be a red flag. Bro, the guy could not have, the guy is not able to afford food properly. All his friends are eating protein shakes and stuff. The guy cannot afford fucking flour to eat. So those things, they don't talk about like what other people like. Bro, if I lose, like let's say if I'm, let's say I didn't have my coffee all day, right? Or from 2 days, I'm having my withdrawals for not having coffee or sugar. I might lose my patience here and there. And so from all of a sudden, from being a green flag or green forest, I became a red flag. So that's the problem with these Instagram things. They are all subjective. Yes, they are all subjective. They try to like judge a book by its cover. And that's the reason a lot of time you will think your friend, this explanation is red flag, that's funny. But like a lot of these things, right? When a girl says, oh, you are not a green flag, yo, I don't give a fuck. It's authentic. If you want me to be a person who, if somebody, I can provide for my family comes first before me. If somebody in my family needs kidney, right, I will be the first one standing, needs blood. That's for me is the good person. And the type of person, probably I will end the stream with this thing. The only flag I want is CDA. That's nice. But like, this is where I will end the stream, right? And understand this thing. Very important. And this is actually, I can say, a big part of my life I based on this. I asked my mom when I was like, I think really young, what type of person I should be, what type of man I should be. In terms of like, relationship, when can I go in relationship and stuff, right? And what type of person specifically I should be. She said a very beautiful thing. She said, be a type of person. Let's say if you have a sister, you have a daughter, right? Or you have a really good friend who you would be okay them dating. Type of person you are okay that dates your daughter or your sister. What type of person you be. That's what you should be, because you are going to someday date someone's sister, daughter, right? Or best friend. So that's why for my life, and a lot of time I've lost a lot of people for this, but how I don't drink, I don't smoke. I try to understand people's situation, right? Love my parents and try to always put my family before myself. That's the type of person I will, right? So those are important talks to have with your family, and like and understands, right? Other people. So if I see something like how I'm able to talk about like person is not able to eat food, right? When I struggled, there were days I had money, but I could not eat because everything around me, the towns I was living during door-to-door sales, had meat shops only open. I'm nice with CS, so yeah, you are on the right path, man. I'm a green forest, I don't know, man. I'm just, I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. No, Wrench is nice, man. Like, I will say this. Wrench is like younger brother. He's 100% going to have, like, pull my leg whenever he gets a chance, but he's a nice guy. That's for sure. Because I have seen a Wrench, like, of course, he's going to do bully and stuff, but like, Wrench I have seen, whenever somebody asks for help, he does put, like, comes for help and do the right thing. My opinion is the only one matters. So yeah, kind of, yeah, that's true. Yeah, just don't let him get your pick. That's true. But yeah, lads, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream today, right? I love this. We are able to chat and we are able to cover our stuff. And we'll keep our format like this. 10 to 15 minutes of warm-up, study, and then after hard work, we'll enjoy. A good thing, right? Wrench nice? Everybody's asking is wrench nice? That's like the main question of today. Maybe you should do a poll. The day I get it, you will stop streaming. I think the day you will get it, we are going to stream together. I thought that would be the case. Thank you so much, Varshit. Thank you, Wrench. Thank you, Rabbit, Rover, Panda, right? Thank you for the new follows. We have Ansh. Yo, Ansh, also, feel free to DM or we can talk more in the Discord. Just message. And we had more today, right? Utkarsh, was it? Let me just check. Yeah, Utkarsh, right? And we had Ray also pop in. So that was amazing. Idor, thank you so much, man. And thank you everyone for joining. Sorry if I'm missing anyone's name. Ben KZ, yeah. Thank you for joining the family. And lads, don't forget to join the Discord if you're new. Feel free to, there's a bunch of good things happening. Now we introduce, and thanks to Rover and Shriram, and Shriram was also here, so thanks to him, we introduced a new channel called Flex Zone, where we are putting things we are doing to keep great attitude, positivity, and helping each other, right? So Just Flex is all about positivity, showing what you are doing, right? Stuff like that, right? Yeah, with that being said, people might, yeah, but like this one, I will say this, please keep the Flex Zone all about positivity. So if anybody might be feeling down, right? You just don't know. If they are messaging in Flex, just, and let me check what can we steal from it. Yeah, learner's ID, I think is sure. That's fine. Yeah, I will do lead code too. I will come for lead code and won't be covering like basic stuff. I'm going to focus specifically on lead code, and let's see if we can work for even lead code. I'm going to try to explain and try to code fast instead of chatting much. If there is any questions, I'll try to solve the first problem and then questions. Second problem, then questions. That will be the one. And that's the method I'm going to apply for lead code. Let's see if we can cover more lead code. So hopefully you guys like it, right? New stuff coming, and I will get the video. I need to learn how to make videos. Yeah, and thank you so much, lads. Thank you so much, everyone. Hope you guys have a great day, great evening, lovely chat, lovely messages. And just like always, do give somebody you really like a hug and thank you, especially your parents. Call them and say thank you for helping you, right? And your brother, sister, just your best friend, tell them thank you. Means a lot, right? And love you all. Love you, Wrench. Love you, Panda. Thank you so much, Rover. Why are you Okay, so thank you so much, lads. And like usual, we are going to end with our cultural hacker sound. The new hacker sound, or the old sound, which is now called hacker anthem. A big bye, Rover, and a big bye, the hacker sound. Thank you, lads. This is your favorite sniffer of packets, censored hacker, sniffer of packets. Yeah, favorite sniffer of packets, censored hacker signing off. Thank you.